What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Jay Munson. I feel like everybody says that. Your boy Just is back with another video. What's good, YouTube? As you can see, it's 2 days in a row, or day 2 for me here, doing a video for you guys. No, it's not Christmas. I was on my YouTube page, right? Just typing in shit. Well, typing in. And type my name in. And I popped up in someone else's video. So I was like, well, let me see what my name is into today. So I got here and it was a brother Lemmy, and it was response to Justin Munson calling Dr. Sebi a fraud. And yes, I called Sebi a fraud. He's not a doctor. He is actually a fraud. He was telling people, if you haven't watched the video, I promise you, this time I mean it. The link is in the description. He claimed to have cured HIV, AIDS, blindness, a man with with paralysis, or people who were paralyzed, spinal cord injuries, just different. He claimed to cure all of this. A guy in a wheelchair came to him, and because of his diet, he was able to walk. Cerebral palsy, autism. Claimed to cure a lot of these things by his diet. So I did call him a fraud, and I believe he's a fraud. It's one thing to believe that your method is optimal for health. It's another to claim to cure and treat medical illnesses with your powders and tinctures, and you grinding herbs down and putting them into bottles and selling them for $9-10 a. Let me not ramble. Brother Lemmy, what's good with you?
What is up, YouTube? This is Victor on the Lemmy Explain Show, and today I would like to do a response to Justin Munson, and his title of his video is Dr. Sebi. Doctor, in quotes, Sebi was a fraud. Now, in this video, Justin lists a couple of facts that he puts forward, claiming that this is why Dr. Sebi was fraudulent. One being that there's a subtle hint to the fact that Dr. Sebi didn't go to school and his claims were unsubstantiated. I choose to disagree on that.
Alright, Brother Lemmy, I'm not going to pause every part of this video, but you can't disagree with the fact that he didn't go to school. That's what he said himself. He said it in the video, and I'll, again, promise, links in the description. In the very first part of his speech, I did not go to school and I don't read books.
I started taking Dr. Sebi's recommendations. I thoroughly researched all the stuff he was talking about. And what impressed me was his knowledge of biochemistry.
So, again, I'm not going to pause all the way through this video. But if I start speaking Spanish today, there'll be a lot of folks who would be impressed if you don't speak Spanish. Because I don't speak Spanish. But I have a few phrases that, and with the accent, man, I can make that joint sound pretty. So you would be impressed by my Spanish if you don't know Spanish. Just like you'd be impressed by CB's knowledge of nutrition, herbs, and health if you're not familiar with the subject matter. However, if you're someone who does research and you start studying and you listen to CB, you know that he does not understand the subject matter that he lectures on.
And the working of the body. Why I say so is because I had been hearing a lot of what Dr. Sebi talked about in his lectures and in his videos from my grandmother and my great-grandfather, So growing up in Zimbabwe, Southern Africa, there was always talk about what you eat and, what it does to you and what types of herbs to take and so on and so on. So just as much as I understand that you have a right to your own opinion, I think you're a bit off base here when you're talking about Dr. Sebi not knowing what he's talking about, because the man did his research. If you look at it, at the way he breaks down the herbs from a physical perspective, chemical perspective, and also functional perspective, what they do to you in your body, you will discover that there's a lot of background information. But mostly, I would like to link you to this guy. Now, this book was written way back, and it talks about the mucusless diet. Something you're hinting to, but not actually presenting actual facts on what you're saying. So you're kind of like skimming the surface and saying Dr. Sebi doesn't know what he's talking about when he talks about mucus. But if you read that book, and then you correlate that information to what Dr. Sebi is talking about, you will see that there is a direct correlation there. Lastly, I'd like to mention that.
All right, so you did it a few times here. What you did is called an appeal to authority fallacy. So you're not appealing to the evidence, you're not appealing to data or research, you're appealing to authority figures here. And that does not strengthen your claim at all. If I made a claim that red meat cured HIV, and then I said, okay, well, Dr. So-and-so said it, so I'm right. Or Dr. Oz said that I have to eat potatoes, whatever the claim is. You know, if I made a claim that let's see, any of the keto doctors out there, and I'm blanking on the names because I haven't followed any of the keto doctors in years. But if I said that they claim to cure HIV by going on a high-fat, medium protein, very, very low-carb diet, and they cured HIV, and I said, well, it's right because this doctor said so, you have every right to dismiss it because I haven't presented you any evidence. I presented you with a fallacy where I'm appealing to an authority figure. And whether or not the authority figure is a subject matter expert does not strengthen my argument if I'm not giving you any facts. Back to your authority figure, and we are at, what, 228. So your authority figure, I think it was Eckhart, right? Yeah, Arnold Earhart. He was, for those of you who don't know, he wrote the book The Mucusless Diet. He has a few different papers that were translated from English. I think he's German. And the thing about this guy was that he was pretty radical in a lot of his thoughts and ideas. White guy from Germany, and for his time period, he was a pretty distinguished or esteemed intellectual. However, he was pretty out there, and there was a lot of people who questioned his whether or not he knew what he was talking about. And a lot of it came from the fact that he himself did, drink coffee, which doesn't dismiss his information. Smoked cigarettes and drank wine. However, what got me, because I remember doing research about this. I had dialogue with people in regards to mucus and the diet. The thing is, mucus is not the cause of disease. Mucus is a symptom. For all my brothers out there who enjoy women, you know what lubricates the vagina? Mucus. Mucus is not the cause of disease. It is a symptom, and it depends on how it's presented in the body and what it looks like in the body, whether or not you're actually sick. Mucus is always going to be in your body as long as you're alive. But the mucusless diet, and it's a shame that the guy died early. He fell, had an accident, hurt himself, and I know that got this conspiracy nuts spinning. But appealing to him as an authority, this is the same guy who, believed in eugenics. He had a few ideas that were out there that have me thinking that I cannot get behind him as an intellectual, because if we look at his whole ideas, he doesn't make a distinction between pus and mucus. So it's hard for me to follow somebody when you're claiming to be a subject matter expert, yet you don't provide basic distinguishing between certain subjects. So appealing to a fallacy is not going to do it for me, and it doesn't strengthen your argument. Same with your grandparents. Maybe your grandfather, or not maybe, I'm sure your grandfather was a great guy. Sure, your great grandfather was a great guy. Doesn't mean they couldn't be wrong about what they were talking about. Doesn't mean they couldn't be wrong about mucus and wrong about herbs. My mother, I love her to death. Grandmother, love them. But I believe they're wrong when it comes to Christianity. I believe they're wrong when it comes to the Bible and Jesus. Just because someone who is older than me said it doesn't mean they're right.
To what Dr. Sebi is talking about, you will see that there is a direct correlation there. Lastly, I'd like to mention that I noticed that you're a bodybuilder, and do you realize that protein shakes and stuff like that have been sold to that particular niche for the longest period in time? Well, what's your take on that? The whole idea of protein is both an economic and political arena that you should be very careful when stepping into. I mean, look at the cattle industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, right? And they're producing what you call protein and feeding into the masses. All right. So bottom line is this. Before we even get into the argument about what protein is, and you pulled up some document off Google, if you had given a scientific breakdown of it, I would honor that. But pulling up a web search, come on, I could put up a web search today, do massive SEO on it, and it pops up first page on Google. Well, what's that going to prove? Give us some more backing on your argument, and we can continue this discussion. So,
all right, brother Lemmy. So, I think this is the end of your video. I think you're done here. You're talking about protein. So, when I was talking about protein in the video, which I'll have to go back to, I was rebutting what Sebi had said about protein, that he called protein an amino acid. I was only bringing up protein because it demonstrated more clearly the fact that he had no understanding of nutrition. He called protein an amino acid, which it is not. Protein is made up of amino acids. Protein is a macronutrient that yields 4 calories. That is a nitrogen chain made up of amino acids. I think it's 19 or 20 amino acids that protein is made up of. So I wasn't bringing up protein in that type of venue. But yes, I did bodybuild from about 2005 to 2011-ish. And then I took protein powders. Now I don't. You know, I've been vegan for close to 2 years now. Time flies. And I do supplement with a vitamin D. And I recently got my blood work back, so I was deficient in vitamin B. I'm taking a vitamin B12 supplement, a sublingual vitamin B. And because my day is structured, so I work 60 hours a week, close to, So I do take not protein supplements. I do take certain supplements, but then Sebi sells supplements as well. But I do take what's the stuff? So I take this every once in a while, just to make sure that I'm covering my bases with all the greens that I'd like to get. And again, I'm black. I live in Baltimore, Maryland, so I don't get all the vitamin D I would like to get from the sun. I live in that latitude line that's well above the equator, to where I'm not getting the sun that I would like to get, especially because my skin's melanated, so it reflects a lot of the sun. So when I can get sun and vitamin D, and when I'm not working inside 60 hours a week, I'm outside with my children. But having a schedule, I do supplement. Anyway, though, it was a pleasure having this dialogue with you, Lemmy. And hopefully we get to do it again, maybe even live. All right, brother. Like always, peace.